I did a social experiment today. I did the funny thing of wearing a suit to work. And you wouldn't believe the comments that I got from my fellow Caucasian coworkers versus the comments that I received from my own kind. And I be trying to keep my YouTube channel clean. I try to say what I have to say without saying too much. This is straight talk, but I try to keep things clean. But I'm going to say this: N words are the most disrespectful, uncivilized, no class, bottom of the barrel. Just, it's a couple more choice select words that I could say, but I'm not going to say it. But I received jokes from a particular person, and I thought I looked rather nice, and everybody told me that I look rather nice. But I just kept receiving jokes just from one person. And I would call it a social experiment because the results that I got was unexpected. How my own kind of people, well, I ain't gonna say my own kind of people because that person is not my type of person. But your own kind of people is absolutely the worst. You're not, as a African, I'm not even gonna say African American because I'm not from Africa, but as a Black American, you got some people with the mindset, and it's a poverty mindset where you're not allowed to have anything. They don't want you buying no house. They don't want you buying no car. They don't want you to have nothing. They much rather just sit around and talk about you and laugh and everything else. But my question is, what has happened to society to the point where the human mind is so perverse to the point where that a masculine man can't wear a suit and be accepted, but a man can stand in front of another woman dressed like a drag queen or homo or sissy. I ain't gonna say the F word, but that's acceptable. I'm not understanding like where we are in time where a man can't be a man anymore. And it's sad that a man can't be a man and a man can't be masculine. And the crazy part about it is women will pump up a cross dresser and tell him everything in the book while he's standing there ended up like a clown. Like, I'm not understanding the behavior where the mindset is to the point where you feel like that's acceptable. And I don't want anybody from the alphabet community to take this the wrong way, like I'm, talking bad, bashing anybody. You live how you live. That's your preference. But what's wrong with parents and women that when y'all have kids, y'all see y'all kids doing this unacceptable behavior and you bypass it? Wrong thing to do. Wrong thing to do. Like, the crazy part about it is N words are so hateful. And I just think certain people here on this earth just have a miserable existence. When you talk loud outside the house, I kind of feel like you ain't nothing inside the house. Your voice is never heard. You're constantly told to be quiet. If not, shut up. I'm just trying to figure out where we are in time to the point where it's acceptable for a man to stand in a woman's face dressed like her, and to the point where a masculine man can't put on clothes and look like a masculine man without being talked about. Like, nobody can provide me with the answer I'm looking for. Like, we got to make this thing make sense. I'm seeing young boys dressed like girls. Breaks my heart. Young boys choosing other young boys and they never even had sex before. Make that make sense. Young girls choosing other young girls and they never even had sex before. You just now coming into your femininity and your masculinity at a certain age. How do you get pointed in the opposite direction? It's unacceptable behavior. Parents, we got to monitor our children a little more better than what we do. Because where we lack the internet, we'll make up for it. Y'all been seeing online where they've been catching pedophiles on Roblox? Think about what your kids is getting through those headphones that they keep on their heads around the clock. You're not taking your children out. You're not socializing your children. Your children don't know how to cope in society. Parents, you better wake up. Y'all been watching the news? They talking about sending the National Guard through Chicago. And them boys saying Chicago is different. Warning, come before destruction. Same way, parents, raise your children right. Monitor them in what they're doing. If you want to let them act like a fool, warning comes before destruction. I think, where we went wrong at is a lot of people think it's a game. Like, I got young children, so I know what's going on at the school. Y'all better sit down and talk to your kids. Socialize your kids. It's real out here. But I'm still looking for an answer to my question. Why is it acceptable for a full-fledged man to dress as a woman and be accepted, and a full-fledged masculine man puts on a different look and he's still judged? They say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. We do it every day. But before you judge that book, you at least need to read the introduction. Straight Talk with C. Y'all leave some comments. Talk to me.